Hey, sorry about the mess and stuff, the sheets are drying. I'm making this video for two reasons. One, I don't want to study French today. So making the video actually helps. Getting talking about languages gets you motivated for, or talking about anything else. You just meet friends, you talk about, I don't know, business stuff, and then you go back home and you just want to do business stuff. So that's my trick of today. I don't want to study languages, so I'm gonna either read it about it or watching videos or listening to podcasts, or I'm gonna make a video about it. Which leads me to the second lesson, which is I haven't made video in a while, so I'm gonna do a little bit of language update. Okay, yeah, I'm studying French, but in my channel I've showed Swedish, Portuguese, Russian, Finnish. So where am I right meow? You got to be kidding me right meow. So I'm actually just focusing on French, like 80%, which is studying around between 30 minutes, 60 minutes a day. Yeah, 30 minutes, 1 hour every day. But I don't, till the lesson 60 or something like that, I used to do a new lesson every day, but after that I realized that I had a lot of vocabulary stocked up, that it was dragging me down a little bit, dragging my speed, so I decided to, even though I study every day, I decided that it was better if I did a new lesson every 2 days. So that's what I'm doing right now, and every few weeks I realize that my performance goes down. Anki does a great job telling you how much cards you have to relearn and so on. So what I do after these few weeks, and when I see my performance go down, I just take a few days of rest, like maybe 2 or 3, without studying and without worrying about languages. But yeah, I actually do it every day unless there's like some major force that makes me not to study. Okay, French 80%. The other 20%, it's actually destined to Swedish language, but in a very passive way. So I have flashcards on Anki in Swedish, but I just review them maybe once a month because I actually follow Swedish YouTubers, and like listening to podcasts as well. So I understand pretty much everything. So I feel that I don't want to, consider Swedish as studying the same way I consider French. So I'm considering like some kind of activity. I used to be quite addicted to YouTube. So now what I did, it's that most of my YouTube subscriptions are actually genuine like Swedish bloggers who talk about their day or make videos almost daily and so on. So that way, if I get stuck on YouTube, then at least I end up watching Swedish videos which help me, with the listening skills and so on. And yeah, once in a while when I feel extra motivated and I have extra time, I basically maybe review a few flashcards on Anki, but I don't review them daily, not at all. What I review daily is with French. So yeah, that's the language update of what I'm active right now. So I got some comments about what happened with the other languages, so I'm gonna give you an update of that. Okay. So I was pretty intense with the Russian, and I did this 100 days super intense. I reached lesson 50. I never expected that I would have learned so much Russian in just 100 days. And then my motivation kind of got down because I was not using it and I was studying it just for the sake of it. I didn't have any particular reason. One thing I find very interesting about Russian that doesn't happen to any other languages is that I don't feel that Russian native speakers speak fast. I mean, they could speak fast if they wanted to, but the natives usually they don't speak fast on a normal speed. So maybe it's a language I would like to tackle in the future. It's very useful and it makes me feel very smart because, the alphabet is different and so on. But yeah, I stopped just because I didn't have any reasons, but I forgot a lot of stuff, but I'm positive that in the future, if I want to tackle it, I'm gonna, catch up faster. I would start from lesson 1, I think, but I would maybe could do 2 lessons a day or 3 till I catch my level again. About Finnish, I moved to Helsinki in September. It has been several months now. And I studied because, well, I think it made sense. I moved to Finland, so here in Helsinki, and I got, I was motivated to learn the language. But it's kind of like it happened to me in the Swedish. I just realized like everybody can speak English. You are less willing to talk Finnish because you are still learning it and you don't know almost anything. It's cool to understand few sentences or words once in a while. I feel like a dog. The dog cannot understand their full sentences, but some words are like, I understand this. So yeah, I got actually into this super cool Finnish language program, which cost me only 100 euros for 10 months. It was super cheap. And I was going there 3 hours a day, I think. The teacher was super good. She was super helpful. She was talking to us like we were kids, like not a word in English unless it was absolutely necessary, but 99.9% of the time it was Finnish, talking like we are kids. I think that method for teaching was perfect. And the only thing I didn't support as much, but it's in a global sense, is that the teaching is the vocabulary of these courses are taught by topics, not by frequency. So like we would study the colors, we would study the fruits or the vegetables. And even though the teacher was the best ever, she had to follow this program, obviously. And all these books, the official books, are always focusing too much on the topics rather than the frequency that you use the word. I was quite motivated, and then I just stopped learning Finnish. The course lasted till June, but I dropped out in the middle of it, or maybe not even in the middle, till we finished the first book. And I just didn't have motivation because I honestly didn't see myself in Finland in the future. So I thought that maybe I was taking up too much space in the brain with some information, some Finnish language that I didn't want to use in the future, that I knew that I don't. I really like the Nordic countries, but I'm not sure that like the winters are kind of harsh for me. So I don't know. One language that I always wanted to study and that I neglected, and I told myself, no, Pau, you don't have to study this language. It was actually French. And I didn't want to study because it's so popular, just for this reason. Like everybody but study French because it's very useful. So I was like, I don't want to study, but secretly, actually, I do love how it sounds. I know it's very stereotypical, but I do love, it sounds so funny, like in terms of comedy almost. Like it seems like they are doing it on purpose, obviously, but it means it's like a funny language. It sounds funny. For example, for me, Swedish and Norwegian, it sounds very melodical, very beautiful. But French, it sounds beautiful in another sense. It's like comical beautiful. I don't know if you would agree. Also, I always wanted to study because, I don't know, I just watch sometimes some French movies, like in Spanish it's called Los Chicos del Coro, which is the chorus. The Chorus is that famous French movie. And I watched it, I think last week I watched it 3 times. I got one of those French periods, I guess. So yeah, the only thing, I just watched it, and it's one of those languages that I wish I had learned, that I hope in the future I can know and I can communicate with it. And I'm pretty proud with the progress I made. My goal is to finish the ASEMIL, which I actually bought on paper. I actually bought also the second part of this book, but I'm still around lesson 70 something, I think. And that way I got motivated. If I invest some money, I'm gonna get some motivation, right? Also, that's another trick. So yeah, that was the whole thing about languages. About also Portuguese. Yeah, Portuguese I just did 50 days, 50 lessons, and it's very easy to learn for me. I even got some Murakami books in Portuguese, and without giving it any active study, I could understand most of it, which is kind of why I stopped. Like, if it's too easy, what's the point, right? It would be like a free languages, but I could occupy those languages with some kind of memory space for languages I really enjoy studying. French is perfect for all the reasons. It's perfect because I like how it sounds. I'm passionate about some, movies and, audio visuals and multimedia that I can consume easily. French people are not good with English, or Belgium or Switzerland, French-speaking people are not good with English, which is perfect if I have to go there and practice. And also it's a popular language, which means that the courses and the teachers online, like on italki, are going to be cheaper because the prices are more competitive. Like if I go for Norwegian or Swedish, when I was going with Swedish, I got a good deal, but still there were just a few teachers available, and most of them, they had like over 20 euros per hour prices. But in French, you can find lower than $10 an hour. It's pretty good. If you want $10 discount on italki, let me know, by the way. I will put it in the comments if you comment down. What else? I think that was the whole update. What about the future? The future for me is that I want to keep my Swedish level. I think I'm doing well, but I would like to maybe consume more resources in Swedish. I've been going to this speaking cafe where we spoke just in Finnish, but in Swedish here in Finland, because Swedish is the second, the official language. But they stopped and they are not going to do it again till September. And also French, I want to really finish the Asimil. That would be such a good goal, because I tried the Asimil Anki method. I don't think I invented it, but it's totally worth it to combine these two methods. And I really want to finish the whole book and start the new one probably. And I will. Right now, I think I'm gonna also start studying the movie from the chorus, the kids who sing in French. That movie. Maybe I'll do a video about it. And also, one language I really like to tackle is Norwegian. I love how it sounds so much. The problem is that Norwegian and Swedish, it's pretty similar, and I can understand some Norwegian when I listen to songs. I listen to many Norwegian songs, but I don't want to start actively studying it because I don't want to mix it. So, yeah, maybe in 10 years when my Swedish is totally stuck with me like it is with English, then that would be a good idea, I think. But for now, no. I'm gonna focus on French, Pareto's principle, I think 80%, and then, yeah. And then Swedish the 20%. That was the whole thing for today. I don't disappear, I'm still studying French, but I think I don't have much material to show you guys. Maybe when I finish the Asimil, I'm gonna make a full review. I'm gonna make a review of how much French I learned. But if I'm not updating, it's because I don't have much to show you and I don't want to just make videos for the sake of it. Although I was thinking about putting some random stuff like the last video you saw, and that could be fun if it brings you some kind of information, even though it's not language related. But yeah, that was the whole thing for me. I hope you didn't get too bored. Bye.